And 11 workwear designed to give you more. More comfort, more style, more function, and more value. Official clothing partner of the Chopperoos and the Stihl Timbersports Australian Series. And Stihl Timbersports, a proud major partner of the Movember Foundation, Stop Men Dying Young. Previously, the best Stihl Timbersports athletes have descended upon Marseille in France for the Stihl Timbersports World Champions Trophy. Australian Mitch Argent powered through the time trial.
And this may be the best time of the day so far. Will he take over top spot?
He earned the 4th fastest qualifying time on his opening run.
And Argent is the first man to do it in under a minute.
Making the top 4 means Mitch has qualified directly into the quarterfinals, along with Canadian Sterling Hart, Czech Martin Komarak, and American Arden Kogar. Athletes ranked 5th or lower from the time trial battled it out head-to-head in the last chance round.
Dubicki, very quick. He may well be under a minute. He just murdered that block at the last hit.
The winning 4 athletes now joining the top 4 in a do-or-die battle for the title. Win, you advance. Lose, and it's bon voyage.
All right, here we go with Sterling Hart and Pierre Puy-Barré. The next pairing for the quarter-final. Important time here because after the quarterfinal, it goes down to semis and then, of course, the final. So it's only 2 heats away from getting to the final of the Stihl Timbersports Champions Trophy. Sterling Hart, I guess you could say, had an excuse. He injured his ankle last year, so he wasn't 100%. But boy, did he ever come close to winning that one.
Warm up your souls.
Brad DeLosa not present at this one, but we'll definitely see him at the World Championship when we take it to Liverpool in October of this year.
Ready, stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, here we are. Sterling Hart, Pierre Puy-Barré. Puy-Barré slightly ahead of Sterling Hart as he moves over to the underhand chop. Sterling Hart very good with an axe, though. Oh, he got a big hookup, Sterling did, as he moves over to the other side now. Puy-Barré right there with him. This is looking like it's going to be a very intense heat right off the hop. Sterling Hart gets through, puts his axe away properly. Puy-Barré the same thing, coming over to that single buck. Puy-Barré has shown some really good signs on the single buck, and his stroke is longer and a bit faster than Sterling Hart, but Hart gets through there quicker and has time now to move over to the standing block chop. Puy-Barré not that far behind. Time is running away on both of these guys here. Can Sterling do it in under a minute? I don't think so, but he should be able to beat Puy-Barré. Puy-Barré still on the backside of his log, trying to get a bit of a deeper cut there. Sterling Hart already moved over to the other side, and Hart does it in 1:03.29. He betters his time from the time trial. It's still not under a minute, but hey, he doesn't care at this point. He just made it to this semi-final. Puy-Barré with a great effort.
So Mitch's next opponent is Michael from Poland. He's just cut Armin from Austria. He's quite a big lad, strong, a bit unknown to us, so hopefully he's a bit tired and Mitch will get the better of him pretty easy.
All right, coming out onto the stage for the next heat, we've got Mitchell Argent from Australia in the green, going up against Poland's Michael Dubicki in the white. So Michael Dubicki had to come through the last chance qualifier. He's already had one heat today, whereas Mitch Argent has been able to sit back and relax through this one, having qualified directly for this quarterfinal from yesterday's time trial. Keep a close eye on Mitchell's underhand chop when he gets to that block. The frequency of his hits, the absolute speed with which he moves that axe, it's something to behold. And this is something that I've been talking about with the Australian team a lot lately, is just how their technique has changed as a team and in general to get them through the blocks faster. Mitchell Argent said he really likes to watch a guy like Brad DeLosa and the success that he's had and emulate that, as well as Jason Wynyard. He also says the Champions Trophy format is a tough one because it's got a mix of strength, speed, and stamina that's all needed to be the best.
Athletes ready! Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
A little bit of a hiccup by Michael Dubicki to get that stock saw on top of the wood, and Mitchell Argent takes advantage of that, moving straight to the underhand chop. Now, watch how quickly that axe head moves as he slabs away that block underneath him. And Michael Dubicki has joined the fast axe crew. He's got a quick one going as well, using that power and that length he has to get through. Michael, not quite as fast as Mitch Argent, though, as he moves over. Both of them now onto the single buck. Mitch using those long, steady strokes. Michael Dubicki going for that frantic power move on there, and he's actually catching up. Will Dubicki get through first? No, he got a little hookup, but they both start the standing block chop at the same time. This is about the tightest heat we've seen all day, folks. Mitch Argent moving over to the other side. Dubicki still on the first side. He goes for a deeper cut there. Will it be Mitchell? It looks like it's going to be Argent. Oh! And Argent is the first man to do it in under a minute. He gets it at 58.28, and I do believe that is going to be a personal best for this. Unbelievable. What a great run by both of these guys. Mitchell Argent, the first man today to hit it under the minute mark. Really good heat here. Wow, that was super close right up until the standing block chop. Just one last blow by Michael Dubicki, and then he actually came close to catching up to Mitch Argent, and Michael Dubicki might have actually been over faster than Mitch Argent, but Argent, wow, he just had the power going on this one, and their chopperoo style is unbelievable. Fantastic.
Great first run there by Mitch. They come flying out the blocks, 58 seconds, just a second off the world record. And that was a potential banana skin for him there against the Polish guy. He's been chopping well all day, but he's through to the next round up against Sterling Hart.
With Canadian Sterling Hart and Mitch Argent through to the semi-finals, who will join them? Komarak, Kogar, Svan, or Wynyard? We are in Marseille, France for the Still Timbersports Champions Trophy. And after the first two heats of the quarterfinals, Mitch Argent and Sterling Hart are through to the semi-finals.
Our next athletes coming out on stage, Martin Komarek from the Czech Republic and Ferry Svan from Sweden. We saw earlier Ferry Svan really strong on stock saw. Let's see if he can keep that stamina up, as he has already done one heat today. Martin Komarek having a great time from yesterday. This will be his first heat of the day. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage? We'll find out.
Athletes ready! Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good start by both of these guys. Ferry Svan and Martin Komarek both drop the discs at the same time, both moving over to the underhand chop. Ferry Svan a little bit quicker on the get-go there. Martin Komarek, his first hit came from heaven high, and now he moves over to the other side, slabbing out very big chunks on that block. Ferry Svan has now moved over to the other side as well. A bit more frequent are the hits from Ferry Swan, but there's a little bit more power from Martin Komarek. He likes the underhand chop. He likes it best because he says he can cut fast there, and that's pretty clear. And now on to single buck. Martin had a very good lead coming into this one, and he is almost all the way through. Ferry Swan playing catch up now, and he's doing a pretty good job, but he's in trouble now coming to the standing block chop. Martin Komarek hasn't quite broken a minute yet, and the time is looking good for both guys, but Martin Komarek's got a big deep cut going through the backside of that log, moving over to the other side now. Ferry Swan hasn't even gotten over to the other side yet, and I think this one's going to go to Martin Komarek. He's got to get 2-3 more hits on that block. He should bring it down. Yeah, there it is. It is done and dusted for Martin Komarek at 1:15.77. Ferry Swan does it in 1:20.54, not that far behind, but hey, this one is going to Martin Komarek. Ladies and gentlemen, this heat contains two of the granddaddy caddies when it comes to Timbersports. There we have Arden Kogar, and behind him, Jason Wynyard. Jason Wynyard had to come through the last chance qualifier, so Arden Kogar will probably have a breath on Jason Wynyard here. But Jason Wynyard's best time in this is 58 seconds 31. We haven't seen anybody else today break the minute mark except for Mitchell Argent. Can Arden Kogar do it? Both Wynyard and Kogar are very strong in motor saw disciplines, so stock saw and those big beastie ones that we see during the World Championships. We don't have them here. The ultimate sawing event, but the stock saw also strong. Here we go.
Athletes ready! Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Different entry styles. Arden Kogar looking very good. He gets that disc down just slightly ahead of Jason Wynyard. Now they move over to the underhand chop. Both of them so powerful. Arden Kogar looking good. Jason Wynyard also looking good. Jason already moved over to the other side. Arden Kogar got his axe stuck in there deep. That's what too much power will get you. Who's going to get through this underhand chop first? It's going to be Wynyard by a step. Kogar now, he is through it, moving over to that single buck, and as I mentioned earlier during the last chance qualifier, the single buck, or the single buck, excuse me, is absolutely Wynyard's discipline, and he just cut through that log like butter. Arden Kogar caught up to him, not far behind now, as they go to the standing block chop, and all that time off season has really paid off for Kogar. He takes 2-3 chops at that first side. Jason Wynyard already working on the other side, going very high on his cuts though. Arden Kogar could come from behind here. Will it be Wynyard? Looks like that top block is already loose for Wynyard, and he does it in 1:06. And Arden Kogar got his axe stuck now once, twice, and finally drops the block after the third blow at 1:12.71. What a fantastic effort by these two gentlemen, and you can say two living legends in the sport of Timbersports. It's absolutely amazing.
Going into the semi-finals, the action is really hotting up in Marseille. In the semi-finals, Mitch Argent will take on Sterling Hart, while Jason Wynyard will take on Martin Komarek. Marseille, France plays host to this year's Still Timbersports Champions Trophy, and Jason Wynyard is set to take on Martin Komarek in the first semi-final, while Australian Mitch Argent is taking on Sterling Hart in the second as we draw closer to crowning our champion.
All right, and here we go. Martin Komarek from the Czech Republic in red and white. Jason Wynyard in all black representing New Zealand. Wynyard always calm and collected. Komarek finds his own space inside his head, puts on his ear protection before the competition, comes out, and he lives inside those earphones. Jason Wynyard so relaxed. He's been here so many times before. He knows exactly what he needs to do in order to be successful, and he just gets on with it. can see the markings there as he gets that thing as far down as possible. He has a very long, steady, powerful, controlled stroke. He's one of the absolute masters when it comes to the single buck.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good even start by both of these gentlemen. Dead even after stock saw, heading towards underhand chop. A quick start by Martin Komarek. Jason Wynyard catching up with fast strokes. Martin going for those long, heavy blows from on high. Both of them turning around roughly at the same time. Martin Komarek just slightly behind Jason Wynyard now. The power and the speed and the endurance of Jason Wynyard shining through. He gets over to single buck. This is the discipline for Jason Wynyard. Starts with a couple of short strokes and then gets into that long rhythm of his. Wynyard, not as fast this time on the single buck. The fatigue setting in now for him after having done 3 heats on the day. Calmly over to the standing block chop. Martin Komarek a little bit more frantic to get there. Martin Komarek playing catch up now as they move into the standing block chop. Jason Wynyard onto the other side. Heavy blows. Martin Komarek onto the other side. Can he catch up to the big New Zealander? It doesn't look like it. A couple more hits for Jason Wynyard should do it, and that does it. Jason Wynyard wins the heat, not far ahead though of Martin Komarek from the Czech Republic.
So up next, Mitch has Sterling Hart, qualified the fastest yesterday, so it's going to be a tough round. Mitch just had a really good cut, fastest time of the day, so we're pretty confident that he can go out there and take on Sterling.
All right, here we go. Mitchell Argent in the green, Sterling Hart in the red. Sterling will have stand A, deck A on the left-hand side of your screen. Mitchell Argent, deck B on the right-hand side of the screen. Mitch Argent has proven today Australia is a force to be reckoned with. He's the only man today to break a minute in the Champions Trophy relay head-to-head. He went straight to the quarterfinals from time trials. So did Sterling Hart. So these two guys should be fresh, having only done 2 heats today, as opposed to the other gentlemen who have done 3. The one advantage I would say Sterling Hart has here is the single buck.
Warm up your swords. Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Very good start by both of the guys. Looks like Mitchell Argent has a slight advantage here. Let's see if he holds on to that. He does. It's ever so small as they move over to the underhand block. Look at that. Sterling Hart also using those quick hits, moves over to the other side with Mitchell Argent. I think Mitchell Argent's going to get through this one faster than Sterling Hart, though. He gets stuck. One more hit. Oh, boy, look at that. A small stick, and Mitchell Argent has now been caught up to by Sterling Hart, and they're blowing through this single buck really well. Sterling Hart definitely take advantage on the single buck, and now Sterling Hart moves over to the standing block chop. Could it be that under the pressure that Mitchell Argent has provided, showing under a minute, that Sterling Hart may make it under a minute as well? It's not looking like it, but boy, are these guys ever giving it everything they've got. Sterling Hart with a slight advantage here. Mitchell Argent trying to catch up, coming from behind, and Sterling Hart does it in just, oh my goodness, just over a minute. 1 minute, 92 tenths of a second, or 92 hundredths of a second. How close is that to being under it? And Mitchell Argent not that far behind at 101.85. Oh boy, what a heat was that.
Great effort there by Mitch. You know, he came off that single buck and he was a few strokes behind on Sterling Hart, but he showed that true Aussie and Queenslander grit and only got beaten there by just 1 hit. But a bronze medal, still a great achievement on his first tour over to an international competition as the individual.
With Mitch Sargent missing out on the grand final by half a hit. Sterling Hart now progresses where he will meet 9-time world champion New Zealander Jason Wynyard. With the Still Timbersports Champions Trophy in Marseille, France, coming down to the grand final, who will take the title? Sterling Hart places the fastest time in the time trial to set the pace.
He is very strong when it comes to the axe disciplines.
He took on Frenchman Pierre Pouberet in the quarterfinals and just edged out Australian chopperoo Mitch Sargent in the semis to earn his finals berth.
And Sterling Hart does it!
Jason Wynyard took the harder route. His poor qualifying time relegated him to the do-or-die last chance round. He then progressed through to the quarters, meeting a rampaging Arden Kogar.
Looks like that top block is already loose for Wynyard, and he does it!
In the semi-finals, Martin Komarak pushed him all the way. He now finds himself up against the rising star of the competition in Sterling Hart.
All right, here we go. This is the final. Jason Wynyard in the black, 9-time world champion. His best time at a Champions Trophy, 58:31. Sterling Hart from Canada, 2-time team world champion in 2014 and 2016. 2016 Canadian champion, and he holds the world record for springboard from the World Championship in 2016. He is ready. He is the favorite here today, but knowing that he is going up against a legend like Jason Wynyard has got to be like a worm in his mind. I think both of them are very evenly matched up when it comes to the stock saw and the underhand chop.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, great start by both of them. It looks like Sterling Hart has a slight advantage, but not by much, as they both move over to the underhand chop. Sterling Hart gets quick on to the hits. Jason Wynyard not that far behind. Sterling Hart switches to the other side. A step ahead now of Jason Wynyard. Who's got the stamina for the day? Sterling Hart gets through one hit ahead of Jason Wynyard. Here is where Wynyard can play catch up on Sterling Hart. This is absolutely his discipline, but the last time he didn't look as clean here. Sterling Hart's definitely been practicing this one, and Hart is through first. Jason Wynyard now is playing a big game of catch up as Sterling Hart is onto the onto the standing block chop. I'm getting all excited and flustered here. He gets his axe caught though, and that slows him down, and Jason Wynyard calmly walks over to his standing block chop now, and it looks like it's going to be Sterling Hart. That thing is wiggling and waggling, and there it goes. Sterling Hart, not the fastest time of the day, but he's finally done it. He has got himself a Champions Trophy win. What a fantastic effort for the legend in the sport. One final blow at the top breaks that block off, and he is also done and dusted, running on pure fumes now.
You know, last year I was within half a second of making it, and that was all that was on my mind through that whole race. And you know, it was just great to even be up there with the company that I was.
Yeah, you know, they're the best two in the world of this format at the moment, and it was a great race, and Sterling come out on top, so yeah, good on him.
I know all of us put our heart and soul out here on the deck, and unfortunately there can only be one champion, and that was Sterling Hart today, so congratulations to him.
Next time, we're back to Australia and straight into the Gold Coast. The heat will be turned up as Australia's best battle for the Australian Championship in the women's, rookies and pro divisions. Tune in next time for some more Still Timbersports action.